Oh, I wish I could change that white balance. Maybe it will automatically change. What's up, guys? Hope you're having a good day, night, whenever it is that you're watching this. Sorry that I look like so much of a bum right now, but hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. We're just gonna hang out, do a little bit of a live stream, and show you some baits that I got in the last week or two, some Megabass jerk baits, and then talk about some soft plastics for spring fishing and the giveaway that I've still got to do here before the end of the month. So really, I need to put post the giveaway tomorrow. You know, make some decisions tonight, and then just run it for the next 2 to 3 days. I pretty much run one giveaway every month, and usually toward the end of the month for like the last week or so. But this time, I did not really think it through. Unfortunately, I had actually planned on kind of overdoing it this month and doing this combo here, but with the recent craze of this jackhammer, I've decided to hold on to it after all. I did only buy two of them in this 3/8 ounce color, and I'd like to be able to throw it a fair amount this spring once things warm up and really get going. So even though I could sell these and the Heights Hot Craw color for, you know, pushing $50 a pop, I just I don't really want to have to wait for it to come back in stock anywhere. I don't know how long that's going to be, and I'd like to use it. So it's not about the money. Unfortunately, I'm not going to give it away. So I apologize to you guys for that. We'll see about the Delta Craw Kitech lure, whether I throw that into the giveaway or not. But Wayne, how are you doing, man? Appreciate you leaving the comment. Good evening to you as well. I am staying safe right now. My family and I are taking things very seriously. Living here in Colorado, we're a little bit ahead of the rest of the country. It was a bit of a hot spot here for a couple of weeks with everything happening so quickly. So we took precautions, I think a few days to upwards of a week sooner than most, and we're about a week or 10 days into a full-on quarantine. I've been able to work from home. My wife still is working because she's a nurse, working nights at a local hospital here in Denver. So sadly, she is still working and could be exposed at some point, but we're hoping and praying that that doesn't happen. So otherwise, we're completely isolating ourselves and limiting social interaction. So hope you are doing well also, Wayne. Looks like there's one other person in here that hasn't left a comment. How are you doing tonight? What's going on in your world? What I want to do to start out, and what was the main reason that I hopped on, was to show you a couple new baits that I got in the last week or so. I've put some photos of these up on Instagram, but nothing too crazy. So anyway, I had seen the new Megabass Vision 110 colors come out. Awesome, Wayne. Good to hear. Glad to hear that all is well with you. Ready to get some hooks wet. I hear you, man. The live stream, I think I had put something like not so fast spring or not so quick. We just got some snow 2 days ago, and so unfortunately the weather is not cooperating. And while we did have warm weather for a few weeks consecutively and everything melted, then a little bit of cold weather here the last couple of nights. So hopefully we continue to trend up and water temperatures rise and we really get into good spring fishing here in the next couple of weeks. So anyway, this Matt Magic 90 degrees, Wayne, that's insane. Yeah, it was, in the 30s and snowing yesterday. Today it was more like in the 50s, so most of that snow actually melted off because we just got like 2 inches. So Megabass this year at the Bassmaster Classic released a new series of colors that they call Matte Magic, and they're all matte patterns. And so I was interested in trying them out. Saw that Discount Tackle got their hands on them pretty quick, so I was moseying around there. Riley, how are you doing? The week's been pretty good. Thank you for asking. How about you? You know, my concept of time kind of has been changing recently, and since we don't have childcare anymore, and I've just been hanging out with my girls when my wife comes home from work and has to sleep, I have no sense of what time of the week it is. So, you know, the fact that it's Saturday doesn't mean much to me. I work today and I work tomorrow. So anyway, the week so far has been pretty good though. You know, we had decently warm weather early in the week, and then I was just telling Wayne we got snow the night before last, a couple inches. So we still have some cold weather. I haven't had an opportunity to go fishing whatsoever since talking to you guys a week ago, and I still haven't had a chance to make it to the post office to send out your little package here. Uh, and you know, for that, I'll probably throw a couple more things in there, but you know, got a few chatterbaits and a handful of Ned rig heads. Probably need to put more in there for you. But anyway, let's talk about these jerk baits. So I had the bright idea when looking at these matte magic colors that this perch pattern was the deal, and I don't have a ton of perch pattern baits, to be honest. Yeah, Wayne, remind me to talk about the crazy flapper when we're done talking about these jerk baits. Jason Jackson, what's going on, man? Just got on in time for the chatterbait. What are you talking about, chatterbait? Nah, man, I don't know that I'm giving that away anymore. Riley, it was 92 degrees yesterday. That's insane. Absolutely insane. You know, it was 32 degrees, maybe a high of 42 degrees here yesterday. So we're still very much in early spring here in Colorado. So anyway, I had the idea that perch pattern jerk baits could really be the deal for me this year. I'm making a point to get an upgraded version of my fishing license to have access to different state parks, uh, reservoirs, and a couple of lakes that ordinarily would cost $10 for a day pass. And so last year, I think I went maybe 6 or 7 times because there's four of them real close to me that I would use frequently. And I think I went 6 or 7 times last year, and it doesn't even cost that much. It's like $60. So it makes the cost of your fishing license like $100 for the year. So I'm gonna do that, and a couple of those bodies of water regularly stock trout and have yellow perch as I don't think they stock the perch, but the perch is just like a main forage for the bass. And these smallmouth grow to be huge. Largemouth are pretty good too, and the walleye fishing in these bodies of water tends to be good as well. So perch is something that I'm just trying to get a little bit more serious about. So what I did was look at the different color patterns for perch that Megabass carries, and I ended up kind of sampling them. So check this out. This color right here is the standard Megabass Vision 110 in the GG Perch Orange Belly, I believe is what it's called. Yeah. So GG Perch Orange Belly. And as you can see, it is not translucent. It has got a lot of flash to it. It's got that orange belly and otherwise pearl belly. So that's the shiny one. The GP Pro Perch stands for Ghost Pattern. And as you can tell, this one is translucent. Still has a little bit of flash to it when the bait rolls and from certain angles. But this is a translucent color. So GP Pro Perch, and I got it in the silent. And then this matte perch in the this is the standard Vision 110, but it's called the Matte Magic, as you can see here. So yeah, it's not just my camera being out of focus, Wayne. This is a matte color and a matte bill. So can you see that? So got the 110 in the regular kind of chromish perch, and then one in the matte pattern, and then one in the translucent silent for more clear water and toned down situations. So got 3 110 jerkbaits in perch patterns, and then decided to get a jerkbait that I've never tried before. Wayne, you got one? Nice, man. Riley. Don't worry about it. Have a great rest of your night too, Riley. I'll see you soon. I will talk to you soon, okay? Look out for this jerkbait, by the way. So, the Megabass Canada is an oversized jerkbait. This thing is over 6 inches long and weighs an ounce. So, just for reference, check this out. This is the Megabass Mag Draft Freestyle in the 6-inch. This is, no joke of a swim bait. 6-inch soft plastic bait rigged on a 6/0 owner beast hook. Pretty substantial, but side by side next to the Megabass Canada jerkbait, I mean, they are like identical. Same size, really similar color pattern. So I have these to imitate rainbow trout in the bodies of water that I was just talking about that I'm going to be fishing more this year. It's stock trout. So this is a really cool color here. It is a JDM color that they call what's this one called? Setsuki Wagin Setsuki IU. Hopefully I'm not butchering that too much, but it's a chrome with some pink and more of like an orangish brown head, and then it's got this brown back and like you can't tell that it's got like a bluish type of finish on the bottom, but very cool color here, and it's actually not totally chrome. You can see through it just a little bit. The light here is not ideal for you to be able to see that, but got one in that Wagin Setsuki IU and one in the GP Pro Perch. Again, that's the Ghost Pattern Pro Perch, and here is an awesome little comparison for you. Megabass Vision 110, Megabass Canada. Look at that. So the Vision 110, I believe, weighs a half an ounce. And at 110 millimeters, it is a very standard, bordering on large size jerkbait. The Canada, though, dwarfs it and just is absolutely massive. So just kind of solidifies the fact that the Megabass Vision 110 is a finesse jerkbait. Not necessarily small, but in its action and in its profile and what it does, it is a colder water, more finicky fish type of presentation. But the Canada is much larger. It's got 3 tungsten balls in here, so it makes a lot of noise. And it has a little bit more side-to-side action. Now, what you'll notice is it's super thin, though. Noticeably thinner than the 110. And I think that just helps give it not so overwhelming of a presence. It is a tall bait and it is a long bait, but it is not a wide bait whatsoever. So helps minimize the gigantic profile that it's got. So got 4 new perch pattern jerk baits, kind of to cover all conditions. I will start with, this large size in the Ghost Pro pattern when the water is clear, and then when I need to, I'll downsize to the 110 silent. And when it's super sunny conditions or super cloudy conditions where the water is just a little bit off colored, I'll throw this standard GG Perch orange belly. And then when I need to make it stand out a bit more, we've got more stained water. I'm going to throw this mat. The mat's also just something that they haven't seen before, so something new to try. See how the fish react. And yeah, I've been meaning to try some of those. I've never tried the Kanata jerkbait, but it's been on my list for a while now. So anyway, I kind of reorganized my jerkbait box the other day. It's one of those things where it's like a good problem to have, but my jerkbait box overflowed, and so I was forced to figure out how to handle this situation, how to reorganize, and make room for my jerkbaits. So I'm in between right now. What I've got right now is a smaller 3600 size box of Japanese jerkbaits. So I've got the Kanatas and a couple of the Jackal Soul Shads there. These are all Vision 110s. These are all Pointer 100s and Pointer 78s. These are Jackal Re-Ranges and JDM bait called the ISM Raver. Got a couple dual hardcore minnows, and I'm a Flit 120s. And then separately, I've got kind of a bigger box that is not nearly as full, but has jerkbaits that I like and use and want to keep in my rotation. So, I got all my Rapalas, my X-Wraps, and my Rip Stops down here. Got some smaller size X-Wraps and a couple Pointer 68s. A couple of the 6 Sense Provoke 106s and the Spro McStick 110s, all stuck to each other. This bait that I love to talk to you guys about, the Lucky Craft Pointer, the Lightning Pointer 98 XR. The Rapala Shadow Wrap, and some Smithwick Elite Rogues, and some KVD jerkbaits, of course. So I like the 3-hook KVDs in both the standard and the deep diver. Surprisingly, that standard KVD jerkbait, this guy right here, in the 300 size, is just an awesome all-around jerkbait. It's not too flashy design-wise. It's kind of got a plain shaped body. It's very round, not too edgy or special in any which way, but it's got a little bit quieter of a sound, and it's got a really good action, and it dives just a little bit deeper than a lot of other jerkbaits. So it'll go down to 7 feet, whereas most other jerkbaits are going to stay in that 3 to 5, 4 to 6 foot range. So I like the KVD jerk baits for sure, but I'm at a point now where I've got too many to fit in one box. So I had to start dividing, and I don't know exactly how I want to organize them. If you guys have any ideas of what would be a good strategy of organizing jerk baits, I would welcome any suggestions, because I'm at a point right now where really I'm going to pick and choose out of my boxes the day before or the day of a quick trip. As you know, I go out for just an hour or two or three at a time. And so I'm not trying to bring my entire arsenal and look for a pattern and throw a million different baits. I'm pretty much going out with a few or a handful of different baits that I think I can catch them on, given the time of year and the location that I'm going to. And I just work with what I have. So unfortunately, I miss out on what would be like an ideal presentation a lot of times, but it's just because I'd rather not bring too much stuff. So I'm pond hopping, if you will. I'll bring like a bag with a couple of 36 or 3700 size boxes, and yeah, it gets a little bit tricky when you've got, pushing 100 different jerk baits. What do you choose to bring? Some of them excel in colder water versus warm water, but some run a little bit deeper, and color patterns matter as well. So there's a lot of different factors that go into that. Did I just see a comment come in from Ray? Kid Iraq, what's up, Ray? Something's up. I had the blue dot saying you posted, but not the red dot live. I clicked on it. Older streams. You could view channel, and then I'm live. What? So maybe people aren't getting a notification tonight. Again, this is still like the third or so time that I've streamed live on my phone, so it could be a little bit different. And I'm not creating thumbnails. I didn't know that I was going to have the opportunity to hop on here for a little bit tonight. My wife is upstairs talking to a friend, doing a little, video chat, FaceTime conversation, which is wild that, that's kind of what we do now these days. Since we can't go hang out with people in person, we hang out like this, where ideally I'd be able to see you guys. There's 4 of you in here plus me. It'd be nice to be able to see you and hang out for a little bit, talk about baits and see what you guys are doing and what your opinions are on some different things. So anyway, sorry that you didn't get that notification, but glad to see that you're in here, man. I am not going to be on here for too long. I was just showing you guys some jerk baits. I got 5 new Megabass jerk baits, 3 Vision 110s, and 2 Canadas. The Canada is a 6-inch jerk bait that weighs over an ounce, and is just a mega. So something I'm super excited to throw this year. But also wanted to talk about a couple things that I had posted on Instagram, but just wanted to show you guys. I've showed you here on these live streams before, and we'll make separate videos to show people how to rig these up themselves. But what I did this week was convert 2 of my absolute favorite swim jigs into fancier, cooler lures. So first I took the 6 cents Divine swim jig, and I put that Divine swim bait on there that I just got from them last week. This is the larger size, the 4.4 inch in the Ghost Ice Minnow. It's a lavender shad swim jig. And what I did is I took this screw-in blade from Pro Point Lures and screwed it right into the belly of that swim bait and trimmed up the skirt just a little bit. And voila, what you have here is essentially a DIY version of the Megabass Uoze swimmer. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but Uoze. It is a swim jig that they put out a year or 2 ago that has a built-in swim blade. So it's like a hybrid swim jig slash spinner bait. And I've talked on this channel numerous times about how I don't throw spinner baits very often because I love to throw underspins. It's become so much more my thing, and fishing in situations that require me to be throwing a weedless presentation more often than not, it is just really helpful to be rigged up like this. Can any of you guys name this swim bait right here? Seeing that top should give it away. Can you name this swim bait? No? Nobody? Nobody? That is the Lunker Hunt Fetch. Lunker Hunt Fetch. Surprisingly good value bait. Can you see how flat it is? Skips like a dream. This is a 5-inch soft plastic swim bait that is really flat, really soft plastic. That tail bends over, so you get a lot of good action out of it, even though it's just for the very top portion of the bait. But because it's so flat, you can get a hook through there and tucked into the top very easily. You could use a much wider variety of hooks on this bait that don't need to have nearly as wide of a gap as you typically need with a soft plastic swim bait. So anyway, created kind of my own custom Uoze swimmer here for half the price. So this swim jig is $5 on its own, and these spinner blades are like $1, $1.50. I think you can get 3 for $4 or $5 on Tackle Warehouse. Again, they're made by Pro Point Lures, and so $6 versus I think you pay $10.99 or $11.99 for the swim jig from Megabass, which has been really popular, and I believe that it's pretty good. But just like all things Megabass, I mean, you're paying a little bit for the brand and the design and the craftsmanship, the stuff that goes into it, not necessarily the raw materials. So for certain things, I do believe in building your own, and I don't see any reason not to do that. You know, nobody was throwing a Megabass swim jig beforehand, but then all of a sudden they put out this fancy swim jig with a blade on it, and everybody's digging it. But this swim jig here, 6 Sense Divine, has been proven for a number of years now, as has been the Dirty Jigs California swim jig. As you can see, this has got a little bit beefier of a hook than the Divine swim jig from 6 Sense, but I decided to put one of these chatter blades from Queen Tackle that I talked about recently. Queen Tackle switchblade, and you thread the blade onto the line tie there and create your own chatterbait. So now I have a weedless chatterbait in a bluegill pattern. It's gorgeous. It has a nice, strong weed guard there and a huge hook. Put a good matching bluegill pattern trailer on there. This is the Strike King Rage Blade, or Blade Minnow. And that is a gorgeous bluegill chatterbait. And again, paid $5 for the jig, about the same price, you know, $1, less than $2 per blade for these chatter blades. And there you go, $7, and you're paying less than you would for a Z-Man Project Z or Project Z weedless, which I think is $9. So really like the idea of being able to take your favorite swim jig and spicing it up a little bit. You know, there are only a few swim jigs like that that I really like. I hear the one by Beast Coast is really good, that Gorilla swim jig. I do kind of like this Trashmaster jig by Game Changer, and it's copycat by I don't know who this is made by, Venom Lures. What I do like about this one is the vertical line tie. The Trashmaster has a horizontal line tie. I'm not sure if you guys can tell that, but it would not work to put the chatter blade on a horizontal line tie. So could do it with this one, which I said it was a knockoff because it does have a screw lock, keeper, a EWG hook molded to the lead head, and it is the exact same design as the Trashmaster jig, which I found funny that they were released pretty close together, and the Trashmaster has a patent and everything, so I wasn't sure how that worked out. But anyway, these two jigs that I just showed you guys are like my two favorites for sure. So Dirty Jigs California Swim Jig, again, it's got a beefy hook on there, and the 6 Divine Swim Jig, which is a little bit more edgy shape wise. The hook is a little lighter wire, and then the keeper is a screw lock, which is just a little different. The Dirty Jigs one has a old-fashioned lead keeper. Both jigs are really high quality though, and kind of just what I've been using for the last couple of years. And it dawned on me that I could take something like that, or I could take a wobble head, or any old football jig that's got, well, no, it would have to have a vertical line tie. So most of my football jigs have horizontal, but say this one by Z-Man, it's got that old school rubber. Look at this line tie coming right at you. You could put a blade on there. You got this O'Shaughnessy style hook. Just a very different presentation. Make your own chatterbait. And so I haven't taken it totally serious yet, but I'm just starting to play with all the ideas that are coming into my head about how to use these blades. And believe me, I'm thinking somewhat outside the box, right? Like, imagine if I put the blade on the front of this swim bait. So we've got a blade spinning below, got a weedless hook, and we've got a chatterbait blade on the front. What would that be like? That would be insane. What about putting the chatterbait blade on the back of a spinnerbait? Something like that. All right, Ray says, off topic, but my daughter and I are getting ready for a quick trip tomorrow. She's watching with me, but she doesn't know why. But what? She doesn't know you're live? Could you say hello to her? Her name's Ava Claire. Ava, how are you doing tonight? I hope I'm saying that right. Ava? Or is it Ava? I am live right now, and I'm waving and saying hello to Ava alone. Hope you guys are having a good night. Wayne was thinking lunker. So Ray says the Plano Edge box is amazing. Bass Pro Shops has great sales. No one is shopping. No one is shopping at the fishing section, at least here. Yeah, well, it's probably best to not go into the store and go shopping. But I also noticed at Bass Pro when I went some 2 weeks ago that they had a lot better deals going on than Cabela's. And those are still going on for a few more days, right? I think through April 1st. So it might be a good idea to take advantage of those. I hadn't really taken seriously the Plano Edge box yet. But as you can see, I've got a mixture of the standard Plano ones and the more advanced ones. So it's Ava. Ava. No problem. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Appreciate you guys hanging out and watching a little bit. I'd be happy to answer um, any questions that you have specifically, or talk about anything if you want to address anything. Ray says, got the terminal as well. Can't figure out how to organize it. It makes you need to get two to cover major techniques with all the different weights. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. That's not true, Ray. You're not taking it seriously enough, and a lot of people aren't, honestly, and I get it. But we're going to be dealing with this for a long time. You really can't be going out into public, and when you do, it needs to be for a very short period of time, and you need to not interact with other people. So sad to say, and sad to think that we can't really be having physical contact with people, but going into a retail store is just not. I'm not going to make you cite sources. I'm just saying you should not be leaving your house. Um, I guess it depends on where you live, but we're going to be dealing with this for, if I had to guess, somewhere between 3 and 6 more months. So it's weird, right, to not do your normal routine, be able to go to the places that you want to, but it's reckless, going into a gas station, going and getting fast food. Like one of my buddies was telling me, oh yeah, I've been super disciplined and like am not going out at all. Just once a week or so, I'll go make my rounds of errands, and like I did that today. And so I went to the grocery store, I went to the liquor store, I went to the dispensary, and I think he said one other thing, and I'm thinking in my head, 4 places all back to back to back. How many people did he come into contact with? I mean, absolutely crazy. Uh, so you said you're doing your 15 days, but you went 2 weeks AFO. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that, but yeah, I think it's going to be longer than 15 days if we're being honest, but we're taking this step by step, right? So, oh, so you started 2 weeks ago, but that doesn't change your immunity or the fact that people are still going to be contagious. We're going to be dealing with this. It's going to continue to be passed around. We're not nearly at like the worst of it here. Now, again, location does matter. So here in Colorado, we're probably going to hit the worst of it in the next month to 2 months. But we're still, like I said, ahead of the curve. Constant buffering. Is my quality bad, guys? That's not good. Is my video quality okay? Bass Catcher, how you doing, man? Mr. Can Dunked, Mr. Canned UNC, Candy UNC. Not sure what your name is. I'm sorry if I'm buffering. Will you guys let me know in a comment? Is the quality okay? Can you hear me as I'm talking, or is it cutting in and out? Bass Catcher says tornado hit my city here in Arkansas this evening. Damaged a lot of stuff. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. I had no idea uh, that tornadoes were likely to happen anywhere, but that's super sad, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Hope everybody in your family is safe right now and that your things are safe, but at times it works itself out. Only buffers a second. Shoot. Well, I'm sorry that my quality might be a little bit off here tonight, guys. If I have to go back and delete this, then I will, because that kind of does matter to me. But yeah, you're probably right about that, Ray. Wow, Bass Catcher, that's crazy. Super small world, scary stuff. Tornado coming within a quarter mile of your house. That's freaky. I'm sure you know people either in your neighborhood or otherwise who are affected by it, or um, you will find out that they were. So That is tough. So anyway, guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about my giveaway. Bass catcher. No one died though, thank goodness. Just minor injuries. Okay, that's great to hear. Okay, so I am starting to think about the giveaways for the next couple of months. Seen the video when it was touching down. I'm not sure what you mean there, Ray. All right, guys. So I think what I'm going to do, last month I did a pre-spawn tackle box giveaway. In it, I gave a little small pack of soft plastic swim baits and a couple of hooks. Gave a spinner bait, a jerk bait, a Rapala DT6, and like one other bait, right? Striking red eye shad, right? So Ava said, please don't delete this video. Okay, I won't. Just for you, Ava, I won't delete the video. But you can always tune into a future video that's probably higher quality than this, and I'll shout you out and make your day that much better next time. So last month was, late February, and I did a pre-spawn giveaway. Now, March and even April are still kind of pre-spawn. Before, I would say April, May are spawn in most parts of the country. So I'm planning on doing another pre-spawn themed giveaway. And like I said, initially what I was going to do was give away one of the Firecraw jackhammers and a pack of the Kitech Crazy Flappers in the trailer size. This is a 3.6 inch in the Delta Craw color. And I am super pumped about this combo. And I ended up getting 2 of each of these, thinking I would keep one and I would give one to you guys. But I've kind of changed my mind seeing how things have changed over the last couple of weeks. And I don't know that I'm necessarily supposed to be talking about this, but I'll just kind of slip it in. But I've noticed, and I noticed that Ray caught this as well, but prices have changed a little bit some places online, including Discount Tackle. And that's because demand is still what it is for this time of year, but supply has gone down. So companies are not raising prices, but they're not discounting things as much like they typically do. So we've seen some things like this jackhammer chatterbait in this color specifically sell for $50 each, and sometimes more, which is just absolutely answering you back. What you talking about? Ray, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. What message am I not responding to? In the video when I was touching down, man, I don't know. What I admitted was that I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, yes. So the reason I didn't get back to you was that I was inquiring about that, and then I got a response from Discount Tackle. So Ray reached out to me and said, "Hey, what's the deal? Like, I've seen prices change on Discount Tackle," and so I reached out to them to get a real answer on it before letting Ray know. And here's the thing, is that I got a quick response from them saying, here's the deal. And, I don't want you making any announcements or telling people about this, but like our supply issues are becoming a real thing. So we had to lower our prices, or we had to cut the margins, and we had to tighten things up and raise prices to closer to retail. We can't keep the 20% off. So what was always standard 20% is now more like 10%. And you'll see some things are no longer discounted for now. That's going to change and go back the second that things are back up and running. But it's a real thing that some products like this is kind of what started it. Our back order, there's absolutely no date, no end in sight for when they're going to have them back in stock. And it seems like China is still having some serious issues, and that's not going to get fixed. So I was told to not let you know that prices are up because they're not going to get things back in stock. So they're actually trying to slow sales so that they don't have to sell out of so many different products and then literally have everything sold out and then not be able to replenish and then potentially lose some customers. I think what they're trying to do is level out the prices so that sales in certain products that sell super hot, like the jackhammer, because I think it's the best price you can find it anywhere online, right? Getting it for $12.79. Got like 5 of them sitting in here that are unopened, and they sell out of those quickly, right? Part of that's because I represent that, shout it from the rooftops, and have been sending a lot of people their way. Part of it is that new website called Top Fishing Deals that is pushing out best deals, and you can search on there for certain products, and it'll tell you where you can find the best deal. So discount tackle has become more of a thing, has been growing and expanding their offerings, and so they don't always get it right. And sometimes there's a lag of a few weeks if they sell out of a color or a size, and that's tough to manage. So I think they're trying to maintain a little bit right now, and unfortunately, they had to raise the prices on jackhammer chatterbaits and a few other things. Now it's still like $14, right? It's less than retail prices, so they didn't raise prices. They just reduced the discount, if you will. So sorry about it, Ray. So yeah, Wayne. Quite honestly, that's just what we're dealing with, right? Is that most things these days are made in China, and sales are not slowing down, but supply is. So things are sold out and are not necessarily going to be coming back in stock. You'll see that a lot at Tackle Warehouse. You'll see it a fair amount at Discount Tackle as well. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that I stocked up on a lot of stuff earlier this year. You know, between Black Friday and now, I've pretty much got everything that I need for the year. Though I'm still not going to stop my monthly purchases from Discount Tackle. Um, I will probably just make fewer impulse purchases. At least I hope that's the case throughout the year. So we'll see how that goes. I want to get your guys' opinions, Ray and Wayne, while I've got you here and engaged with me. What do you guys think about doing a purely soft plastics giveaway for this month or for next month? Could be either one, but I was thinking instead of doing hard baits, all right, fair enough. So how do you guys feel about instead of doing hard baits, which I totally could, doing like a half a dozen or 10 packs of soft plastics that really apply to the pre-spawn in particular. So like these white super flukes, for example, you know, soft plastic jerk bait, and maybe like a 6 cents Ned fry in this more clear water color for, you know, a shaky head or a big Ned rig or a Nico rig when you need to finesse it? Or how about the crazy flapper in one or a different color that would be good as a jig trailer or as a Texas rig bait, maybe a pack of swim baits, some other jig trailers or Ned rig baits. Looked like your guys' initial thoughts were that you're into it. Bass Catcher, sorry, man. Meant to get your input as well. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Soft baits are a great idea. Okay, so what else would you guys want in a soft plastic style giveaway? Are there any specific baits? Like I've already told you that for the spawn, I'm going to give you guys a pack of the Rage Bugs in the white. And I might end up giving you the black lizards. And if I don't, I might give you the Nest Raider instead. But very specific bed fishing spawn baits. But right now, since it's still pre-spawn, I'm thinking reaction style baits, jerk baits, cross style baits, flipping baits, swim baits. What do you guys think are appropriate for this time of year? What would be your... Yeah, I said 6 cents. Ray? You know, what I am a little bit tempted to throw in also would be like... You know, a pack of the Clouts from 6 cents. So, two similar worms, but very different applications, right? So, the Ned Fry worm is more buoyant and a stiffer plastic. It is meant to stand up. It's 4.6 inches. So, like I said, good for Ned rig, small shaky head, Nico rig type of presentation. And the Clout is 5.4 inches. So not much bigger, but it's skinnier and more salted and much better on a wacky rig or a Texas rig than the Ned Fry would be. So I think worms are always a good option. And while I haven't tried these 6 cents baits yet, I did get each of them in a few different colors. And my first impressions of them, and from what I've seen in underwater footage and reviews online and on YouTube already, these baits are legit, especially at $4 and $5 a pack. So 6 cent soft plastics, I am into. Wayne says reaction and creature are the ticket. So do you mean reaction innovations, or do you just mean reaction baits and creature baits? Ray says those crazy flappers look amazing. I only use EWG hooks. Never tried anything other than maybe a Ned head, maybe hooks with it. Yeah. So there are 3 different sizes of the crazy flapper, which is awesome, but means that you really use them for different things. So this 2.8 inch you can throw on a mushroom style Ned rig type of head, just an exposed jig head. The 3.6 is the best sort of do-it-all size. So jig trailer, Texas rig, chatterbait trailer, kind of whatever. And this 4.4 inch is like a flipping bait. Not as good as a trailer just because it's so huge, and I think will stick out a little bit too far. So the 3.6 might be the best option. Bass Catcher said lizards and craws are his favorite. Cool. Okay, Creature Baits, not the brand. And Ray says, just trying to give you ideas for your show. Yeah. All right, so, yeah, I think that 3.6 is probably the size. The Reaction Innovations Spicy Beaver, by the way, is also a killer. But we're not talking about that one right now. All right, so benefits. Yeah, 3.6 is the best option. I would agree with that. Another idea would be a pack of trailers of some kind to put on a jig. Okay, absolutely. So here was my thought: is the 3.6 inch Crazy Flapper is one that can definitely be thrown as a trailer, but there are a couple other colors that I have here that I haven't used before, so I'll let you guys vote. Would you like this? Ray, no Instagram winners. Okay, so here's the Delta Craw. This is a bright red with like a day glow orange bottom. Here's a green pumpkin watermelon. And lastly, this one is called Kentucky Craw. And as you can see, it's like a red June bug. So it's somewhere between a plum and a red bug, June bug type of color. If you guys could vote between the Kentucky Craw red one, green pumpkin watermelon, or the Delta Craw, which color would you prefer? You guys vote, and I will just do it. Green pumpkin watermelon. Green pumpkin. That was two quick ones. Ray, what do you think? What color, man? Because it feels like I'm going green pumpkin watermelon. First you go with your Firecraw jackhammer that one year you'll be able to get maybe. That's fair. So for now I'm going to do the green pumpkin watermelon, the white flukes, the clouts in this melon dust color, I think. And the Ned Fry in this cinnamon crave kind of smoke purple type of color. So that's 4 packs so far. I was thinking I could give you something like this Lunker Hunt Fetch. You know, I don't have an unopened pack of them. They don't store incredibly well in their packs. But I was thinking a swim bait or two already rigged could be something reasonable to give you, as well as some jig trailers like you mentioned. But like a lot of my swim baits, and you'd be able to see up here with most of them, I've got 1 or 2 out of the pack. So I'd like to be able to give you guys things that are completely unused already. Yo, have you guys ever used these pig pork style trailers? What about that Nest Raider, says Bass Catcher. Yeah, you know, thing is, I'm definitely pretty pumped to try this bait myself. So I don't know how jazzed I am about giving it away, just because I think I could probably catch a couple bedding bass on it. Now, not totally necessary to have a bait like this, but look at how novel that is. I mean, it's soft and it is super realistic. It's got a really cool tail on it. So yes, this is River to Sea, and this is like a second edition bait for them. They put this bait out a number of years ago and in a size that was much too big. It was like a 7-inch bait, and I want to say it weighed like an ounce and a half or something like that, and was just too difficult to use. It didn't wasn't marketed to the right audience, and I don't think people believed that it had much of an application. But this is 5 inches long and is 3/4 of an ounce, and it's got a 3/0 hook in there and great design. So that is a bait that was re-released last year at ICAST, and I think it sells for $7 or something. But obviously, it is a very specific bed fishing bait, and one that I think is pretty cool. So the lizards in straight black were what I was considering getting, putting in the giveaway, but for next month, not this month. So just trying to think what other baits would be most appropriate for this time. You know, one that I was thinking about putting in that I don't know how you guys would feel, whether you'd like it or not. Is this spool tech bait? I've showed you before, and it's made by the company owned by Patrick Sabile. So Spool Tech is the company name, and the Fatty is the name of the bait. So when a fish bites, the hook separates from the bait, and it's got this steel leader attached. So you wind it up, and once it gets to the bait, you tuck it in its slot. Well, obviously, I'm still a newbie using this bait. It has to be wound around the hook properly, but it'll tuck into its spot and then rest there. So this is a 4-inch swim bait that weighs, I don't know, a half ounce or something. It's really reasonable. Yeah, half-ounce bait. And it's got a hard plastic head all the way to here. And then the tail portion is soft plastic and is replaceable. But you get this hard plastic head and big hook on here. This is made for saltwater primarily, and they make them in much bigger sizes. But this is a shad pattern called Silver Digger. I've got one other in the same size in the IU color, so it's more greenish. And I have a set of the spare tails for that bait, but not for this one. So my thought was I could potentially give this away. That retails for something like $15 a pop. But it fits into the category of, like, you know, I've been holding on to this bait for the better part of a year now. All these different brands were released more or less at the Bass Classic last year in 2019, and I was super interested in some of their baits, specifically the Hyperlastics Dart Spin, and so I worked with them a little bit, and they sent me a bunch of products, including these fatties, and I never fished them last year. So I've got 2 in this 4-inch, and then one modular kit with a much bigger, heavier head. So could maybe give this away, if not just like a pack of soft plastic swim baits, or like I said, a pre-rigged swim bait. So Yeah, Wayne, it is a really cool concept, and I'll say Patrick Sabile is very inventive. He's got some great ideas. Uh, so his current venture is like four different companies, and one of them is that company called Spooltech. So they've only got a few different baits out right now, but it's that same concept with the hook attached to a leader that clips into the bait and then separates so that you can get leverage over the fish. So here's the dart spin by a band of anglers. And this is a really cool bait. As you can see, it's got a tail spinner molded into the soft plastic tail of the bait. It's got holes in the plastic so that you can easily rig this. And you put it on a belly weighted swim bait hook like this, and it's relatively weedless, really good hookup ratio. People assume that, you know, the fish are just going to nip at the blade, which is not necessarily the case, especially since a band of anglers went out of their way to release smaller sizes. This is the 4.5 inch, and they've got one even smaller than this, which is a 3.5 inch that I don't have, but the 5.5 inch and the 4.5 inch are their standard sizes. You know, this 5.5 inch fits really well on a 4/0 or a 5/0 EWG style hook. And this smaller one, I think fits on more like a 2 or 3/0 hook just fine. So the dart spin is what caught my attention most from a band of anglers, and I really like what they're doing. They're starting to make other soft plastic baits out of that material that they call soft tough. I didn't show you how stretchy it is, but very, very cool. Wayne says, I saw that, but it was made by 6 Cents. What? Not sure what you saw. This style lure or the dart spin? I don't think 6 Cents makes anything like that. The only comparison that I would have is this bait. This is the now third company under Patrick Sabile's umbrella. One was Spooltech. Two was a band of anglers and that Hyperlastics dart spin. And lastly, this one is Engage is the name of the brand. And this bait is called the Twit Shad. And this is a topwater / jerk bait. It's a twitch bait, mostly made for inshore saltwater applications, but has a lot of crossover applications and materials, and does well in freshwater too. So fish this kind of half like you would a topwater, half like you would a jerk bait. Walk it barely subsurface, and yeah, I think 6 Cents does make something called like the Hyper Jerk, which is targeting saltwater anglers, but that I think is about all that I saw from 6 Cents. So Wayne, maybe Wayne was just doing that to mess with you, Ray. Ray loves to talk about 6 Cents any chance he gets. Maybe I should throw the baby bull shad into the giveaway. It's a cool bait that I'm pretty excited to throw this year too. Basically, and what, Ray? Chatterbaits. I do love frickin' chatterbaits, man. I had to size up my box. Changed the size of my chatterbox just because it was getting out of hand. Hey, are you going to go over how to win the giveaway, or do you do that part later? Just wondering, but you're going to have to go. No worries, Bass Catcher. I am, but I'm not going to do it in this video. So I will post something probably tomorrow in the morning time, or maybe around midday, and it will be specific to that giveaway. So it'll be a really short video with specific instructions, and I will also post on my Instagram. So if you're following me on Instagram and subscribed here on YouTube, it will be very clear what you need to do in order to win these baits. So I think I'm going to give away something like 6 packs of soft plastics, all really nice baits in colors that I would ordinarily throw and think are good. So Bass Catcher, have a great rest of your night. I will talk to you soon. Ray says, and chatterbaits. Yeah, we could talk about chatterbaits every freaking video, man. I love me some chatterbaits. You know, I was comparing this guy right here earlier, the Weedless Project Z. Really, really nice chatterbait. Has been for a number of years. Used to be the kind of top of the chain that Z-Man made. You know, coming in at like $9. Was the most expensive bait that they made for a while. But here, for a lot cheaper, look what I got here. I got the Dirty Jigs California Swim Jig in a rad bluegill color with a gold blade on there, made by Queen Tackle. And it's significantly cheaper, but you get all of the benefit. So what I need to do is get these wet ASAP. I need to learn the pros and, more importantly, the cons of this blade specifically. So the main thing that I can think of is the attachment and how secure that is, that over time it will loosen up and come free, and the bait will come off, and you will reel your blade back in without your lure attached. So that is always a possibility, but it's not supposed to happen. Ray, gonna hit me up tomorrow? You have a story about Z-Man that you've never told me. And all people would think it's funny. Well, so why don't you tell it now, man? You can hit me up tomorrow about it for sure. But you're welcome to tell the story a little bit now in the comments if you want. So anyway, I'm not going to talk about chatterbaits right now, just because my mind is on soft plastics, and I'm trying to figure out what I could give that I haven't already thought of. You know, these soft plastics are ones that I'm kind of bringing with me everywhere right now. Are these Savage Gear bluegills? This is the old one with multiple joints. This is the new one. It is not jointed. It's got that pulse tail on it. And listen, it's actually got a rattle in the head. And so these bluegill swim baits are going to get some usage out of me in the next couple of months as bluegills start irritating bass on beds. The 6-inch trout is going to get a lot of usage too. I don't have any duplicates of these baits is the problem. So it's hard for me to justify, you know, any one bait specifically that I'm giving away, when usually I'm shopping for myself and not for other people. And so I'm not looking to get duplicates to give away, but I do want to continue doing a monthly giveaway and make a point to give back to you guys. But look what I do sometimes that, you know, unfortunately this whole side, all of these boxes are filled with soft plastics. All of these boxes are filled with soft plastics. So, like, look, here I've got Yamamoto Zeikos, and here I've got Strike King Blade Minnows. Here I've got all Strike King Rage Tail Menace Grubs. Here I've got all Kitech Easy Shiners in 4-inch. So I literally, some baits that I really believe in, like the Easy Shiner and the Menace Grub and a couple of these chatterbait trailers, I like to just have with me on the go as much as possible. And I'm not trying to bring around like a half a dozen bags of them. So one of the solutions that I have is to load them into these soft plastic, or not soft plastic, but these flambeau containers, and carry around, a few extra colors with me at any given time. So for some of these baits that I really believe in, I actually don't have like packs to hang on the wall because I've got them loaded into my boxes already. So, all my bandito bugs and my rage bugs, like I've got, 8 or 10 packs of rage bugs here, 5 packs of bandito bugs here. And that's just kind of what's happened over time, is that it gets out of control having hundreds of bags of soft plastics and not really knowing how to store them, what to do with them. So it's all part of it. Ray says 6 Cents has sick bags, especially the new one that came out. Grab and go. Do you mean they're like their kits, their packs, their boxes, their sacks that way, or do you mean their little bait bags, like the KVD bait binder or speed? Some companies make speed binders that actually have clips that you would clip your bait onto, but some, like I know 6 Cents has, it's just for lack of a better term, it's kind of like a toiletry bag, right? And you just zip it open, shove a whole bunch of bags in there, and zip it closed, and it'll take up, a reasonable amount of space. I like that concept, and I will probably end up doing that. But what I don't love is that it takes up a fair amount of space, so I'll almost need to have it like outside my backpack, because otherwise, what I think I can do is shove like 10 or 15 bags of random soft plastics in different compartments of my backpack, and easily fit those. But I can't fit a bag this big inside the bag as well. So I'm probably looking to bring like 3 3600 size boxes. Ray says D-ring it to your backpack, and absolutely, that's probably a good solution. Is to try one of those bait bags and just attach it to the outside of the backpack. And yeah, that's not a bad idea. I've been meaning to try the KVD ones for the last year or two anyway, so it's a good excuse to try out the one that 6 Cents makes. I have the one by Z-Man. I have both of their solutions, but there's pros and cons to each, right? So here's the standard one, and they make this in smaller and double wide sizes. But essentially, it just has a binder ring on both sides, and all the Z-Man packs have 2 binder clips on them. And you can fit like 10 bags in one of these. I had this dedicated to chatterbait trailers last year. I took some of those craw and creature baits out and hung them up on the wall. Not quite sure how I'm going to use this season yet, but I do still have the chatterbait trailers in there. Got my razor shads, my turbo craws, and my 4-inch. No, just razor shads, turbo craws. That's it. 7 packs of those. The other solution that Z-Man does are these boxes. So these boxes are cool also for certain reasons. Ray says He's got them too, but they don't have a label pocket or a side pocket like 6 cents. So they actually do have a pocket on the inside. So you're right, there's no label pocket, but you can just write in Sharpie like you said, put Chatterbait Trailers here, or you can just remember if you don't have like a bunch of these. These cost like 10 bucks a pop, but what's cool is in the bottom you do have a Velcro pouch here. So I could load this up with chatterbaits, for example, and not have to pack them in a separate box. I wouldn't have to carry my chatterbaits somewhere else. I could have my trailers hung up, and I could have the baits that I'm probably going to use in that little pocket. So I think that's a decent design. It's got a nice handle on top, but here's the thing is it's open all the time. So if it's rainy at all, your stuff's getting soaking, and that's just part of the deal. So not the worst problem, but also probably wouldn't be my first choice. I would just have it closed on all sides. But that's just me. So this other design is a little bit different. And what's cool about these is that you can clip bags in here. So, like, watch this. So I can fit one here and one clipped into the top, and I can double up on these really. So I can fit 4 soft plastics on each side, 4 there and 4 here. Again, there's 2 clips, so I can fit 2 bags on each clip, 2, 4 on each side. On this edge, you can put jig heads, hooks, weights, whatever you need in there. And on the other side, it's more open, so you could put packs of baits or jigs or whatever that you need to that's a little bit bigger. You could put a spinner bait or something, larger lures in there. So one side is smaller compartments like a tackle box, and the other side is open. And then in the main part, you can fit 8 bags of soft plastics. So size-wise, this is just like a, I don't know, a deep, this is a 3700 size box, and they're about the same thickness. So it's not that big of a box, to be honest. And I like it. So I actually, you've seen me pull it out before, but I've got one up here for Nico rigs specifically. I showed it to you guys last week, but I'll show you once more right now. So in here I've got 4 to 6 inch Elastec worms, as you can see there. So I've got my big TRDs and my fatties, and I've got my finesse worms and my bang sticks in here. I've got some Mustad triple grip hooks, and I've got the TRD spins and the Nico weights in there. So I can carry around a lot of stuff, and I've got like 9 bags of Elastec soft plastic worms in here for pretty much any application I need that's Texas rig, shaky head, Nico rig type of deal. That's more or less my Nico rig box. And so I showed you guys other soft plastic worms that I like to use on a Nico rig. I think this 6 cents Ned Fry is going to be really good on that rig, but Elastec I think is hard to beat when it comes to stand-up presentations. The elasticity, the buoyancy, and the durability of Elastec is just, it's almost unmatched, right? So anyway, a couple more things that I need to get figured out, but we are dragging on time wise, and I got to get back to organizing and cleaning and deciding what else I ought to throw in this giveaway for you guys. So if you have any cool ideas, let me know. What I think would be really practical would be to give you like some finesse jigs or some Ned rig baits. But like I told you, these are some of the baits that I like to decant and have in, plastic containers already. So I don't just have unopened bags of them sitting around like this. I've got them in different form factors already. So got to kind of figure out what is in everybody's best interest for me to give you, because I'm not trying to give you half-used packs. The signature Hooksets are free hat, says Ray. I think it would be cool if in a year from now I was considering making merchandise that said Hooksets are free, but quite honestly, I don't see that happening in the foreseeable future. Even baits like this is the Magnum Rage Menace Grub. I've got one of them pulled out because I have it rigged on a CFL chatterbait, and so I've got this incomplete pack, but haven't used it yet. So I've got a lot of baits like that. Wayne says, great hanging out with you guys, but got to get this girl in the bed. Daylight is coming fast. Hey, Ava, Wayne, thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Fun being with you. We will hang out again soon. I've got to run myself, so appreciate you guys hanging out. I will try to do a little bit better job moving forward about notifying you guys that I'm going live and prepping on what it's going to be about and things like that. So look out for the giveaway tomorrow and another live stream on Friday night, most frequently, or most likely. Friday and Saturday night this week, my wife is working, so I will be home alone with the girls. Not that I'm not already home alone with all the girls all the time, but I will be doing live streams Friday and Saturday night, most likely. So keep an eye out for that. And shoot, today's Saturday. I've already told you I am off my game. My wife works Friday, Saturday next week, so it could be upwards of a week before I see you guys again. But I will be on next Friday. So the giveaway will be happening this weekend, tomorrow through Tuesday or so. Give away a bunch of spring soft plastics. God bless you both, all three of you, everybody else who might be watching at a later time. So great hanging out with you guys. Feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video quality of the baits that we talked about. If you have any suggestions of what I should put in the giveaway this month or in the future. Ray, what's up? You say, wait. What are you talking about? I will wait. What do you got? Okay, you're signed up for notifications. That's a good idea. But what? But you're not fast enough? No way, man. So tell me what happened. What did you get notified about, and how long after you got the notification did you go check? Because I've never had an issue with that yet. But I will say, with some baits, 3 new jackhammer colors. Jeez. So I wonder if a lot of people are doing what I suggested and have notifications set up. My guess is you should be getting the email within hours of everybody else, right? If not like right at the same time. So it's strange that you wouldn't be fast enough. Uh, though it's possible that they're selling out in a matter of a day or two after going in stock, because I don't know if maybe they're only stocking 10 or 20 baits total, and a jackhammer comes in stock and somebody just decides to buy 5 of them, next person buys 2 of them, next person buys 1, and all of a sudden there's only 3 left in stock and those go quick. So I don't know how it works exactly. Definitely don't know how many they get in stock, but yeah, my guess is that other people are getting that notification too. So sadly, it's gotten to a point where on Discount Tackle and for certain sales on Tackle Warehouse, I will have like a running wish list of things that I am wanting to buy when the time is right. So things that if all of a sudden I've got the budget for it and I'm making uh, a purchase that's a little bit more uh, improvised, then I might throw them in. But usually I'm waiting for a big sale on Tackle Warehouse where everything's 10, 20% off, or a regular purchase from Discount Tackle that might be in a month from now. But over the course of the month, I will build up that list. And in the back of my mind, I'll have those uh, notification products, and I'll be willing to make more of a quick decision when I see those come back in stock. And I'll try to gather up a cart full of stuff and make a purchase that same day or the next day. Because quite frankly, I think they are selling back out in a day or two in some of those products that sell really quickly. And yeah, the 3/8 and the half ounce colors, I'll buy you a fire if you buy me 2 fires. Um, what? I do have that notification turned on, so when they come back in stock, I will buy 2 or 3 or 4 of them, and if I get some and you don't, then I'll send them your way, and if I get them, then I'll email you and let you know that I'm buying them, and we can go that route if you want. But like I said, when I asked my contacts over there, they suggested it could be a while, dude. Um, Not just weeks, but maybe months before the Firecraw and some other colors come back in stock at all. So, um, yeah, I hear you. It can be nerve wracking throwing your most expensive baits, and I've got some in here that stayed in the box all year last year, and some that are duplicates, so they didn't make their way out of the package last year. But you got to get used to throwing it. And the reason that these are unopened is because I've got so many that are opened that I do use on a regular basis. So I'm gonna send Riley one in black and blue, but right now I've got like 15 or 20 jackhammers, something like that, and you have to get used to throwing them. That's the thing. Is It's not worth having nice baits to not use them, right? And that's why I went a little bit more all in with the Megabass jerk baits. Is just that my confidence level has gone way up, and I've been acquiring 1 and 2 here and there. Like, I think I got 2 last year and 2 earlier this season in the matte shad color, and then just decided to get 3 more standard 110s. And it's a $25 jerkbait. It's absolutely insane, but it is a refined bait. It's a piece of art, and it performs really effectively too. So confidence is key. Liking what you have and liking what you're using and being in the right mindset is half of the deal. So once you start throwing the jackhammer and you understand just how effective it is, you'll want to throw it all the time. But until then, you'll be scared to throw it. So there's this kind of this getting used to it period of time, and it sucks because when I was first getting to know the bait, I started throwing it more and more, and then I lost two of them in like a 2 week period, and all of a sudden I was pretty discouraged and feeling like I can't afford to keep losing these at 15 $16 a pop. It's outrageous. One, I need to find them discounted, and two, I need to be smart about where I'm throwing them. So that's why I wanted to take on the project of um, trying to drill holes in my normal chatterbaits and make them weedless. Put weed guards in them. Um, I was even going to do that with a jackhammer or two. But once I got these blades from Queen Tackle, kind of changed my thought on a little bit of that. So super bad storms messed up your lake. Trees everywhere in the water since February. Spent the entire day sawing and hauling wood gathered from around your dock. Can't even throw a quarter-ounce shaky head as of now. Oh my gosh. That's insane. That totally changes the fishing. And yeah, I don't blame you. Don't throw those jackhammers, dude. That is brutal. Um, Man, if I were you, I'd be throwing stuff like this. Um, totally weedless presentations. Like you could probably get rid of this. So that is very challenging. When you can't throw a Ned rig, you can't throw an exposed hook. That leaves you with like weedless swim baits, Texas rigs. Um, Dude, not a lot of great options when you've got wood everywhere. So I hope that gets better for you, man. That is sad to hear. Pretty unfortunate. So anyway, Ray, I'm gonna dip out of here and try and figure out what else to throw in this giveaway so that I can get to bed at a reasonable hour tonight, um, and then wake up tomorrow and post that giveaway. So appreciate you hanging out, man. I will try to be on again sometime in the next week, but it might be until next Friday before I jump back on. So I'll try to shoot you an email, let you know when I do plan to go live. But again, sorry I didn't respond to your email about Discount Tackles prices. I felt a little bit caught because they told me not to say anything to anybody, at least until they had things figured out. It sounds like it's going to be a while until they have things figured out. So unfortunate. You're completely lost as to what to do right now. Yeah. What are your water temps right now, man? I just want to think through this for a minute. Ray, what's your water temp? Like what kind of baits would be best for all that wood? I mean, can you throw a spinner bait through there without it getting hung up? Maybe getting to the 60s. So, have you seen fish on beds yet? Like, did that already happen, or has it not happened yet? Because right around 60 degrees, I would expect that to kick in, but obviously that's dependent upon the body of water, the region of the country, all of that stuff. So, if you could stay a little bit patient, you'll be able to get them up to come up to the surface for a top water in, I don't know, a couple weeks or a month from now. So if wood ends up being a persistent issue for you, you say no. You're in a cove where one was under your dock last year. Uh, Okay, so are you saying bass don't bed near you, or it just hasn't happened this year yet? Because okay, I hear you. So yeah, depth matters a little bit, but when you've got so much wood blown over like that, I mean, you got to pick your spots, man. Um, you, you can't cover water. You know, you really have to fish targets. So, I don't know what to tell you. My guess is that your water's a little bit dirty too. So you've got windy, dirty, woody conditions, and that's unfortunate. You know, it's like a lot of the baits that would be doing really well this time of year just aren't going to serve you very well. No bait, no bluegill, just became a desert. Whoa. Well, you're gonna have to leave your cove then, dude. As your cove meets the road, it's rocky. Okay, so I would look for transitions from wood to rock, and I would fish the rock as much as possible. But but I'd consider leaving your cove and going other places too, in search of clearer, warmer, shallower water, looking for bass who are starting to move up at this time. Because my guess is that if your fish aren't moving up yet, they're definitely thinking about it. So it's pre-spawn time for sure. So you can't throw a rattle trap, a chatterbait. Um, you can't throw a jerk bait. A lot of the like classic pre-spawn lures that you should be throwing aren't going to serve you very well right now. So unfortunately, yeah, you got to pick your spots. Spinner bait, swim bait, you know, weedless underspins, Texas rigs are probably good options. And like I said, slow down, fish more specific targets, and try not to cover as much water, and you'll avoid more hangups. But you also got to pick and choose just how much you're willing to get hung up. Pick the days where the conditions are probably gonna be best, and and just go out less frequently, but when it should be best. Put your boat on consignment a week before this virus blew up. All public access other than the boat ramp was closed. Dang, that is crazy. So when you say shaking your head, what is that? Because you wish you wouldn't have, or just because it's this is all chaotic? Um, yeah, it's insane just how nothing's accessible. You know, you really gotta bank fish, and you gotta travel. It luck of the draw is absolutely what it is. So sad that it's gonna bleed into the 2020 bass fishing season, but it's part of history, right? You know, the ski season was not over yet. We still had a month to go, and they shut it down. So you just gotta accept what you can't control, right? And so roll with the punches a little bit, slow down your presentations, and and let the fish tell you what it is that they want. So, given what you're saying, I would just assume you got to keep it more weedless, but I could be wrong, and there could be baits that do really well where you are that I'm not thinking of. The Tokyo rig could be a good option for you, man. Um, Definitely worth a look and a try. Something that's going to stay weedless, be kind of a hybrid Texas rig drop shot combination where you're going to have a little bit better hookup ratio, slightly different action, and you can fish it a number of different ways. So it's a good, if you're going to pitch or flip it to specific pieces of cover, but it's also pretty decent to cover water around rocks, and and it's not too bad to where it's going to hang up in timber. So um, take a look at the Tokyo rig as a decent option. Initially, I was going to say, wobblehead might be good, but uh, tough to say whether that would be as good in wood as it is in the rocks. But where you've got the rocks, a wobblehead could be a great presentation. Can't decide between a worm, creature, or a craw, but yes, you've been dying to try that rig since you first told me about it. Okay, absolutely. So I would I'd start with a creature, just because you're going to get a little bit more presence, more action out of it. So if you've got a Tokyo rig on, like a 4/0, either the EWG or the flipping hook, that's probably the best size. The 5/0 is a little bit big. That 4/0 though is pretty ideal. So you can put pretty much any craw or creature style bait on there, but I'd put something like the Reaction Innovations Man Bear Pig on there. Or you could go something like the Spicy Beaver or the Rage Bug, and go with more of a standard craw that I rely on those baits like the Rage Bug day in and day out, and use it in situations where I might use more of an appendage heavy creature bait, but it excels in those situations too, and also where you need something a little bit more subtle. So where I used to use like the Rage Menace for that as something that's very versatile and can be subtle, or have a little bit more action rigged a few different ways. Now the Rage Bug is really that for me. So don't have that one, but I do have a pack of Sweet Beavers. I think they are. Yeah, Sweet Beavers are they're more of a dead action type of bait, so good in cold water. But yeah, the Menace Grub could be good for sure. You don't have the Rage Bug, or do you? The Rage Bug is essentially the same thing as the Guggenbait's Bandito Bug. Or I should say the other way around. The Bandito Bug is essentially the same thing as the Rage Bug. They're also very similar to the Zoom Z-Craw. They're mostly made for flipping applications. You get kind of this thinner, streamlined body with less appendages on the sides, and you get these straightforward kicking legs. Okay, so you do have them in black and blue, and in the mini size. Um, so throw that black and blue on the Tokyo rig, dude. I mean, really tough to beat. I would grab a Rage Bug. Grab your Tokyo rig. And dude, I like rigging this thing, and playing with the weights. I think I've mentioned that before, but I really like to do it differently. Like I've got the weights opposing here, so one up and one down. Dual weight, so you get a little bit of sound there. of the weights clacking together, but then it's going to go easy in and easy out. Whereas one heavier weight is going to go easy in, but then as you pull it out, if you've got vegetation that you're fishing through, you're probably going to pick up that grass on the fat part of the weight there. So something to think about. Also, if you're going to swim the Tokyo rig, you've just got more for it to make contact with that way than if it's more streamlined like this. So these opposing weights, I really like two weights like that, or if you have like a sliding drop shot weight, that would work as well. But just to expose this Rage Bug, this is the 4/0 size, and it is perfectly sized on there. And that's a nice little rig, nice matchup. So I'd say the Rage Bug is probably your safest bet. Good mixture of a creature and craw style bait. But like I said, that Kitech Crazy Flapper, this is going to be a good one to use. For whoever wins that giveaway, this would be really great on the Tokyo rig, man. So yeah, well, no rush to make purchases. If you have any questions about some of those things that you're looking at, putting in your cart or on your wish list, just let me know. The Tokyo rig does not come with weights, so you can just use lead or tungsten bullet weights. Here's how it comes: is just the wire, the split ring, the swivel, and the hook. So what you do is you thread your weights on here, and then you bend the wire back to secure the weights on there. So you can interchange them by bending it back, taking the weights off, and then changing them out for different weights, heavier, lighter, multiple weights, what have you. So it just comes with two in a pack, and I think you pay like $4 for the rig. So not the cheapest, but also not outrageously expensive. So once you've rigged it up, you're talking a few bucks, maybe $3 or $4 tops, for a rig like this that's got two tungsten bullet weights on there, the rig and the Rage Bug. Talking $4 or $5 for this whole bait, but really unique presentation, super versatile in terms of where you can fish it, and would be good for the situation that you're in right now. That black and blue would be a good color too. So anyway, let's cut it out there right now, dude. If you've got questions about various products, about riggings, about anything, hit me up, send me an email, or leave a comment here on YouTube, whatever you want, man. So hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed, get those notifications set up, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace, guys.